For most people who run a small charity, there is one task that makes the stomach tighten more than any other. It is not the paperwork or the events or the long hours. It is looking another human being in the eye and asking them for money. We will happily send 100 emails to avoid a single face-to-face ask, and yet that direct personal ask is, by a wide margin, the most effective fundraising there is. A person can ignore your newsletter and scroll past your appeal, but when a real human they respect asks them warmly and clearly to help, something quite different happens. This video is about doing that well and doing it without the cringe. It is about how to ask for a donation in person, at an event, over coffee, in a meeting, in a way that feels natural, respectful, and even good for both of you. Why asking in person works best? Let us start with why this awkward thing is worth doing at all. Every fundraising channel has its place, but nothing converts like a personal, in-person ask, and it is not close. The reasons are simple and human. In person, you are impossible to ignore, in the gentle way that a warm conversation asks for a reply where an email never does. You can read the person in front of you and respond to what they actually care about. You can answer their questions and doubts on the spot. And above all, an ask from a real person you know and trust carries a weight that no letter, however well written, can match, because giving becomes a small act between two people rather than a transaction with an organization. This is exactly why the largest gifts almost always come from a face-to-face conversation, not a mail shot. So while the ask feels harder, it works precisely because it is personal, and that personal quality is a strength to lean into, not a discomfort to escape. Change your mindset. An invitation, not begging. Now let us deal with the real reason it feels so uncomfortable, which lives entirely in your head. Most people dread asking because, deep down, they feel they are begging, taking something from the other person, imposing on them. Turn that belief completely around because it is wrong. You are not begging. You are offering someone an opportunity, a chance to be part of something good, to put their money toward a cause that will make them feel proud and connected. Donors who give to a cause they care about are, by every measure we have, happier for it. So you are not the one taking. You are the one giving them a door into meaning. When you truly believe that the ask is a gift you are offering and not a favor you are extracting, your whole body relaxes, your voice steadies, and the person across from you feels that ease. The awkwardness of asking is almost never about the other person. It is about your own story of what asking means, so change the story. Prepare before you open your mouth. Confidence in the moment comes from preparation before the moment, so never walk into an important ask unprepared. 3 things are worth getting clear in advance. First, your story, the short, true human tale of the difference your charity makes, so that when the moment comes, you can speak from the heart rather than fumble for words. Second, your specific number, the actual amount you are going to ask this particular person for, thought through beforehand and matched to what you sensibly believe they might give. Vague hopes produce vague gifts, so decide the figure in advance. And third, your why now, the reason this matters today, rather than someday, the deadline, the need, the project that is waiting. When you have your story, your number, and your reason ready, you are not improvising under pressure. You are simply having a genuine conversation you already know the shape of, and that quiet readiness is what lets you stay warm and present instead of nervous and scattered. The simple shape of a good ask, an in-person ask, is not a speech. It is a conversation, and it follows a simple, natural shape you can lean on every time. It has 3 easy movements before the 4th, which we will come to. First, connect. Begin as a human being, not a fundraiser. Ask after them. Thank them for what they already do. Find the real warmth between you before any mention of money. Second, share the need through a story. Do not open a spreadsheet. Tell them about one person or one situation your charity is facing, and let them feel why it matters. Third, make the ask specifically and clearly the actual thing you decided in advance. Connect, share, and ask. That order matters because a request that comes after genuine connection and a real story lands as an invitation between friends, while the same request fired off cold lands as a demand. Follow the shape and the ask stops feeling like an ambush and starts feeling like the natural next step in a conversation you were already both enjoying. A vague ask versus a specific one. Let me show you why the specific ask matters so much, because this is where most people fumble. Here is the vague ask, the one nervous people fall into. Anything you could give would be really appreciated. whatever you can manage, no pressure at all. It sounds polite, but it quietly tells the person you do not really expect much, and it hands them the hard work of deciding what is normal. So most people either give a token amount or drift into let me think about it. Now here is the specific, confident ask. We are trying to raise the cost of a full year of after-school meals for one child, which is $600, and I immediately thought of you. Would you consider being that person for a child this year? Feel the difference. The second one is clear, it is concrete. It shows you thought about them personally, and it makes saying yes easy because there is an actual thing to say yes to. A specific ask is not pushy. It is respectful because it treats the person as someone genuinely capable of making a real difference. Make the ask, then stay quiet and listen. Here is the hardest and most important skill in the whole art, and it is almost pure discipline. Once you have made your specific ask, stop talking, say nothing. Let the silence sit, however long it stretches, and do not rush to fill it. Nervous askers ruin their own request in the next breath, tumbling into oh but only if it is convenient, or no worries if not, or half a dozen easy exits, and every one of those hands the person a reason to say no and shrinks the ask you just made, so make your ask and then let it land. The silence may feel unbearable to you, but to the other person it is simply the space they need to think, and thinking is exactly what you want them doing. Hold your nerve, keep a warm and open face, and wait. That patient, quiet, uncomfortable as it is, does more of the work than anything you could say, and it shows a respect for their answer that talking over the moment would destroy. Handle a maybe or a no with grace. Not every ask ends in a yes, and how you handle the rest decides whether you keep the relationship or lose it. If they say let me think about it, take it graciously and do not push, but do agree a gentle next step. May I follow up with you next week, so the maybe does not simply evaporate. If they say no, receive it warmly and without a flicker of guilt tripping, because a no today, met with grace, keeps the door open for a yes next year, while a no met with pressure or coldness closes it for good. Thank them sincerely either way, for their time, for their honesty, for caring enough to consider it. Respect their boundaries completely, and never ever try to shame or corner someone into giving, because a gift squeezed out by pressure poisons the relationship and often the reputation too. The way you treat someone in the moment they cannot or will not give tells them exactly who you are, so let it show you at your most gracious. One honest note here. This channel is educational only, and it is not legal, tax, or fundraising compliance advice, and it is not affiliated with any platform or program. Handle every supporter's personal and financial details with care, respect people's boundaries always, and check the fundraising rules that apply where you operate against the official current source. Always follow up and thank you. The ask is not finished when the conversation ends, and this final step is the one that turns a single gift into a lasting supporter. Whatever the answer, follow up promptly. If they said yes, thank them fast, warmly, and specifically, and make it effortless for them to actually give with the details or the link or the form they need before the moment cools. If they ask for time, follow up exactly when you said you would, gently and without nagging. And once a gift arrives, tell them later what it achieved, so they feel the good their generosity did and are glad they said yes. A prompt, heartfelt thank you is not mere manners. It is the first step of the next gift, and it is the difference between a one-off donation and a person who supports your cause for years. Close the loop every time, and you turn brave conversations into lasting relationships. Quick recap. Let us bring it together. Ask in person whenever the gift is worth it, because nothing else converts like a warm personal request. Change your mindset from begging to offering, because you are handing someone a door into meaning, not taking something from them. Prepare your story, your specific number, and your why now before you ever open your mouth. Follow the simple shape, connect, share the need through a story, then make a clear and specific ask. Once you have asked, stop talking and let the silence do its work. Handle every maybe and every no with real grace, respecting boundaries and never pressuring, and always follow up and thank, because that is what turns a single yes into a supporter for life. Asking for money face to face will probably never feel completely effortless, and that is alright, because a little nervousness just means you care. But it does not have to be the ordeal you dread. Reframed as an invitation, prepared with care, and carried out with warmth and respect, the personal ask becomes one of the most powerful and genuinely human things a small charity ever does. You cannot promise yourself that any single person will say yes, And you should never lean on anyone until they do. But ask the right people in the right way for the right reasons, and you will raise more and build deeper relationships than any email ever could. If this way of thinking is useful to you, subscribe for more practical charity marketing you can actually use, and take a look at the companion written guide linked below where I lay these steps out in more detail. I will keep turning them into calm, doable steps, one video at a time.